Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get started. So today we're just going to cover the daily method of operation, which you'll often hear it referred to as a DMO. And really, this, I believe, is the secret to the success within our business. And it's comes down to really being consistent. So we're going to cover a couple things today. First of all, we'll go through what a DMO is, the benefits of a DMO, options for a DMO, and then implementing your DMO, whatever that is that you choose, and then some recommendations for it. So daily method of operation, when our days aren't productive, it's usually because we don't have good habits and behaviors in place, or we waste time on things that are unimportant. So for me, that's often playing around in Canva. Like that's not going to really get me very far in my business. So other unfruitful tasks such as that. So a DMO is simply a daily routine. The benefits of a DMO include keeping you focused, helping you determine which tasks can be eliminated or what needs to be added. So as you start working on your DMO and you start tracking things, you can determine whether or not those things are really benefiting you or if you need to add something else to the list. The DMO enables you to be consistent because you remember what you need to get done and you can actually look back at it on a regular basis. It gives you the ability to time block. So when you have a DMO, you know how long it's going to take to send out your birthday messages, or you know how long it's going to take to do your posts, and it stops you from feeling overwhelmed. It also builds that muscle, and that consistency makes it easier to do it. So I love this quote by John Maxwell. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret to success is found in your daily routine. Now, there are four main options that I want to cover today. The first one is pen and paper. So going back to the basics and writing out your list every day. I suggest using either the same planner or the same notebook to keep everything in one place. And you'll notice I've mentioned multiple times now referring back to what you've done in the past, because I really think that can be helpful. The next one would be Trello. And I'm going to try and share that right now so that you guys can see what that looks like. Let's see. All right, can you see that? Anyone, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Thanks. So this is Trello. It seems like a lot. It was a little bit overwhelming for me when I first started with it. But this is something that you can get a template for. So I could actually just send you this template and you can fill it out. And so it says send happy birthday messages. I can click on here and put in a list of who I sent the birthday messages to. Respond to Facebook comments. I don't need to go through all of these with you. And then what you could do in the afternoon and evening. I personally don't like this split out into 3 separate sections. I like to do my DMO all at once, not a little bit spread out throughout the day. So it's kind of up to you how you'd want to format this, but this would be a free option. And it's kind of nice to have it to track and look back on it, and also to have it broke out by days. Any questions on that one?
Jen, did you say that's free?
So Trello, the Trello app is free.
Okay.
You can get to a certain point where you have so many boards that they recommend that you purchase, but there's a workaround for that. So if you get to that point, let me know and we can talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Another app that's out there, it's not even an app, it's a website. It's Teamzy.com. I used this in the past for organizing connections. So anytime I reached out to a person, it would enable me to track it based on that specific person. You can use it to send reminders. I personally, I found myself using this to check things off, but it really wasn't helping me to build the relationship. So it depends. This truly is something that's personalized for each person. So if you think that might be something that would interest you, I think that one is $20 a month, that app. So this is where I really think we need to dig in a little bit more. And this is the printable forms. There are several. So the daily activity checklist, Power Hour, Attract and Connect, and the ATM customer tracker. All of those can be found in the legacy team. And I'm just going to write a note here to put all those links in our group so you guys can find them. But you can look through those and see if one of those would be something you'd prefer. And then there are several more in boards. So I'm going to go over here to show you where those are. Can you see the board screen right now?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So if you go into boards.com, you log in, you should have access to the Simplify and Slay board. If you go to resources and training and then go to planners, there's several of them in here. I'm just going to pull up the daily growth checklist. I think this is a good one to take a look at. And this one, you know, this kind of mirror moment, commit to growing today, kind of the miracle morning thought. Check tasks and pulse. I think this is great. I actually need to add that to recommendations. If you're not using Pulse in the My Life app, I would definitely recommend doing it. They give you the verbiage to share with customers. So I basically take it from there and I send it in a Facebook message to the customers. So once they become a new customer, I walk them through how to share their codes and then look at upcoming shipments, talk them through getting a bigger cart if you know there's items that they might want. Back office customer pod report. Yeah, I mean, you guys can read through all of this, checking in on your team, closing the day with $1 million questions. So how much should I make a year for what I did today, which is, I think is a great point. And what I want my team spending tomorrow, the way that I spent today. So great to be able to reflect at the end of the day. So that again is in the boards. There's a daily do and prospect list. This one, let's hope this works. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. So this one, you're going to make a copy of it just because it's, you know, they don't want you to change the original, but this is a pretty in-depth one. So daily dues, you can actually put in what you want your goals to be, what your base goal would be and what your stretch goal would be, and then mark off what you're doing each day, which I think is pretty cool. And then if you look at the rest of this, it walks through social marketers that are working on a 10-3, so you can put their names in here, product prospects, you can track that. New customers for the first 10 days and business prospects. So that's kind of more of an in-depth one, I would say, than some of the other ones. Let's see. This is a weekly planner, so it just kind of walks through how to plan your content for social media, which I think is pretty great. And then we'll get back to the other options here. So again, these are all found in the boards planner. So I'll put links for all of this again in our chat. I created this one, a list of recommendations based on what I actually do. So I think the biggest part with this is it doesn't matter if you're, you know, posting sporadically. Well, it does matter. If you're posting sporadically, your posts are not going to show up as often in your friends' feeds. So you want to make sure that you are consistent, whatever that looks like for you. So if that means it's once a week, then it's once a week. But I highly recommend posting once a day. I don't recommend posting more than once a day because then your two posts compete against each other. The first one that I have on this list is friends' birthdays. Instead of just sending a message saying happy birthday, send them a message that says happy birthday. How have you been? How are you celebrating? You know, whatever you want to say to start the conversation with them and have them communicating back. Because again, this, our social media platforms, when they see that communication, it's pushing you up in their feed. So they're going to see your posts more often. Respond to comments on all social media platforms. So if anyone comments on your posts, make sure you're responding to them. Comment on top friends' social media posts and stories. That again is going to get you to show up higher in their feed. Create your daily social media post, create your daily stories post. And add 20 friends. This is a big one for me, and this was very hard for me to begin with. I was adding 20 people, and I was going through every single day and creating some type of communication with them when I would friend request them. You don't need to do that. If you find someone that you think would be someone that you want to be friends with, or someone that you'd like to have as a customer, or you think would be great at the business, just send them a friend request. You don't even need to start the conversation.
Hey, I want to tell you a story that is like in line with this.
Mhm.
Sorry. So 2 weeks ago, a girl added me that I know her, but she's a couple years younger than me, and like our friend circle wasn't the same. And I struggle with adding people that I don't know and that I'm not associated with. I have to get out of that, but I'm saying this because 4 days later, she purchased from me
Yeah.
out
Sweet.
of nowhere. What is this stuff you're posting about? I was like, what?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So I had to just stop you and tell you that, because we need to get out of that mindset and like
Yes.
just accept the ad, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay,
I mean,
sorry.
people are looking for what we have, that's the
Yeah.
thing. So we shouldn't
Yeah.
be shy about it. I do say, I think that's a great thing. I think one of the things that I do when I'm adding people is I look for something in common. So for me, a lot of times that's easy because I'll look for women that are wearing camouflage clothing. There's a lot of them out there. And then look for other things that we might have in common. So if they have kids or whatever, and then I'm able to start conversations. Now, I will tell you, I don't go in there and say, hey, it's great to be your friend. What do you do for a living? Do you want to hear about Modere? I truly am building relationships with these people before I bring up anything about it. And usually it will come up in conversation. If anyone has questions about that, there is something that I have from my coaching program through the Goal Digger Girl. She's got like a 3-step process of what she says to people when she's starting these conversations, but I prefer not to have it so scripted. So the next one is start a conversation with those who accepted friend requests, 5 minimum. When you go to your friends list, you can see who was recently added. So you can go through and start those conversations. The next one is add value in Facebook groups. So you should be a member of Facebook groups, or I would recommend becoming a member of Facebook groups of things that you're passionate about, that you want to be able to share about and add value in there. Because as you're adding value in those groups, people are going to be attracted to you. And then 5 exposures a day. That's either to the product or the business. So it's up to you how you want to handle those. And obviously all of this can be adjusted to whatever your preference is, but this is what I'm doing right now. And so this is June action steps. I'm really excited that this is the first day of the month that we're talking about this, because I think having that DMO can really change your entire month. So the 3 action steps are, the first one would be to choose a DMO format. The second one would be to schedule a meeting to discuss the DMO. And it's up to you if you want to schedule that with me or with someone else in your upline, whoever that is. But sit down and talk with them about what's working and what's not working. So get that on the calendar as soon as you pick your DMO format. And that's really all I had to share today. I'm going to stop the share here and open it up